Hey, I'm Big B and I'm Brick, and welcome to another episode of the Sellers Stream. I got with me tonight Brick or Treat, who's here in warehouse number 1 for him. We're going to be hoping to get a little camera movement out of him tonight. He's got great picture quality, great sound right now, so we're going to hopefully see a little bit more of that. Brick Willett tonight, who's got excellent sound but lacking camera, but he'll be joining us. Of course, Brick Stackers, otherwise known as Doc,
Where?
from Brick Stackers, brickstackers.com.
Here.
And we're going to be discussing tonight sealed set sales. Basically, take over from where Holland and Ballin leaves off. Holland and Ballin takes us to the point where we buy our stuff, everything that we buy, and helps us out greatly with finding deals. So we want to take the next step, which is the sellers. So there's a lot of sellers out there that sell sealed sets. So the idea that I had was that we would discuss the how-tos. What do you need to do to prep the set, store the set, ship the set? What should you do as far as insurance? All that anxiety-driven stuff that you might have, as well that I already have. And just answer some of those questions, because we've got some people that may be able to answer that for us. But outside of that, we're just going to go to the what's up for this week. What'd you do? Speak up.
We got people in the comments. Let's see, we got Rich is here, BQ is here, and I'm echoing because somebody's got me playing. But I've got BrickQuest, Top Box is here, Ninjago Master, LDN Bricks, Libby Doddridge. So, good deal. Those folks are here.
Hey, did you get Ninjago Master?
Yeah, Ninjago Master.
Ninjago Master also in the house. Love that Ninjago. You like Ninjago. And Brick will just keep the music down there, proud to be an American.
Over there. Brick Willett, did you part out all those sets and get everything put up that you had on Instagram?
Yeah, I've got what I've got on Instagram up. I've just got the freezing chamber left to do.
Is that why you're not showing us you? Because you're just surrounded with empty bags and boxes, like hulls of boxes all over the place?
Yeah. No, I don't know what's going on with my camera.
Did you lose your camera and the part out? For those that don't know, Willett is a newer full-time seller. He is the one of us that is a full-time seller, meaning this is his main gig. You can check out Brick Willett over on BrickLink. I think he may be opening a BrickOwl store in the future. Is that correct?
I want to be looking at it, seeing if I can understand the computer aspect of it, and then I go from there.
But he picks up like 40, 60, 100 sets a day, it seems.
Yep, all right.
Burger Treat, what do you got going on this week? How did the Walmart/Target clearances treat you?
Target was garbage. they did a reset on the 29th, and they still haven't marked down anything past 30. But around here, soccer moms will buy it out at 30, so there's really not a lot left. But finding some halfway decent Walmart deals, not like old stackers running around God's green earth yesterday.
Yeah, I put some miles on the truck yesterday.
Packers has got absolutely nothing on the young Radcon.
Oh, wait, he's replaced me as finding all the deals.
Oh my lord! Like, but this boy, I'm sure is traveling to like East LA.
Well, he probably has 100 Walmarts in his area. I have 3 in 60 miles.
Yeah.
I have 3 in 10 minutes.
He's lucky he's like 7 foot tall.
Just going to ask you, Stackers, that box of 16, how many sets did you get out of the Series 16?
All right, let's see. One box still had the seals intact. Somebody ripped open the top front flap. pulled out the first 4, and I usually wouldn't do this, but they just stole everything and left the hair, and so I found a scramble on the floor of the teen mom, pregnant woman, or teen mom, not pregnant, but so they got one of those out of there for sure, but they didn't dig through them. They just got the first 4 packs off the front rows, and so I ended up getting 56 out of that pack, out of that box, and the other one had 37, I believe, in it, that the second Walmart I went to. So it had been felt through, so there's a possibility that all the banana guys and everything else are gone out of it. But I was just happy to find them because this is the set that I'm waiting for them to be inventoried as far as the inventory parts, the accessories. Some of these I'm gonna strip down and just part them all the way out. The others are gonna be accessories. So I'm waiting on that. So I really didn't mind that I found an open box. You know, previously I'd want a sealed case, but there's so many good figures in this one. I'm not really arguing it.
So are you ever going to like leave a whole set sealed and sell it as a sealed?
Nah.
That's like that. We could talk about that on a future episode. That actually would be good, talking about specific minifigs and holding of in sealed bags to sell in the future. Like that is a thing. And if you're getting figs for 99 cents, just do it.
Yeah, I just got lucky. The other 2 Walmarts, the other one Walmart I went to didn't have any minifigs. They had 3 Disney figs left on the shelf without the box, just sitting there. But
they're coming back out in September, anyways.
Yeah, and I saw some Series 2 Simpsons still out yesterday. Some some Monsters. Yes, the Monster series. I found a few of those still out at Walmart.
Were they $3?
They were normal price, $3.97. I was very lucky to find anything. I'm not gonna lie. I've been going through a dry spell at my Walmarts here. They don't mark things down like where I used to live, and I was just very shocked to go in and find the national markdown had already been taking place in my area. I still have one big Walmart. It's like 30 miles away that carries all the bigger sets. All the ones I went to yesterday don't carry the big, huge $100 plus sets. And I'm waiting on them. That's the ones that they hardly ever mark anything down. And they told me they ship them back when they don't sell them. And I don't know if that's true or not, but going by my past history there just hasn't been a lot of clearance there. But they're stocked. They got everything. I mean, there's all of them that we would want to go on sale that have already been on sale. The big sets, they're there. So, I don't know. But no, I mean, I'm going to leave it up to you to be the sealed set seller. So, for the minifigs.
That's just because I'm sitting on a few cases of Series 12 and 5 cases of the German footballers. So.
Yeah, I would sit on those too if I had those.
Yeah, I struck right before the iron got hot on that one.
The people that struck hot are the ones that are sitting on, Series 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those before everybody knew kind of what they were going to be at. And gosh, those are selling for unreal money.
Yeah, even the Crapola figs are going well in that one.
What's the Lego movie going for?
Those were good too. Those were really popular, and I wonder if they'll come out with a Batman series. I don't know how many figures you can get out of it, but they got the Batman Lego movie coming out. I wonder if they're gonna do anything special for that.
Oh yeah, they got a series coming out.
Yeah.
There's 20 figs in the series for the Batman movie.
What?
Yeah, 20 figs in the Batman movie series. Repeats of Batman's variants. There'll be some of the baddies, male and female, in there, and I think you get a couple exclusives that aren't going to be in any of the sets that'll be featured in the CMF line, and I think that they announced they're coming out with a couple small sets that are going to have some popular figures.
Be good.
They are going to have a full line for the Batman movie. If you don't think that Lego's going to come out with a movie and not have a full line for it, you're crazy.
Crazy.
We already know we're going to get an Ninjago figure line too. So.
I can live without that. Sorry, Ninjago Master Kid. It's Ninjago who he was.
Oh no, I'm betting that Ninjago line is going to go crazy with certain age demographic. I've done fairly well with stripping my figs down, selling, torso assembly and the leg assembly separately instead of the whole fig, because people do go in. There's a big group of people that do the ninja stuff. So.
Oh, the last line's got a lot of those translucent legs and stuff. They were pretty cool.
Now, Big B, did you run to any Walmarts this weekend?
Yeah, I picked up a few stuff. Picked up a few things. Basically hit the Walmarts around me. Went and stopped by the one that I normally stop into for Black Friday, and met the new toy manager. She recognized me from Black Friday the past couple of years. Started thanking me profusely for actually buying the Lego at their store, because their store in my area has the lowest sales overall of any store for toy sales. So she was the one that helped me actually load the cart last year, and that was cool. So met them, talked to them, and went and hit all the other local Walmarts as well as Targets. There was near all the stores that actually sell Lego. They had already gotten to their stores, of course, so there was no luck there, but did find a new honey hole in the area. So went down there, and they still hadn't even had their Bionicle swept. So.
Did you find any figs, or are you just waiting on that?
I'm just waiting on getting cases of figs.
So, if you share, what set did you stock up on most this week?
I did. We went crazy. We buy what we play with, so I went crazy on the little Nexo Knights sets.
I did too. Macy.
Macy, Robin, and both the baddies.
Well, I only found Macy for $5, and the one of the bad guy that's got the black.
The one with the wings?
Yeah.
I found like 3 or 4 of him for $5, and then the rest of them were all $7, and I waited on the $7.
So the one Walmart near me had dropped all 4 of them down to $5.
Nice.
Well, I mean, she said that their store traditionally, when they do the deeper cuts, will go down deeper than the other stores because they sell less percentage of Lego than the other ones. So that leads to, like, when Bot goes out and straps himself with a hog leg so he can go shopping, that's the reason why he goes there, because traditionally where you have less sale of Lego, your price will go down accordingly. Because they're trying to get it off their shelves. They're trying. Obviously, that didn't sell. They're trying to get something in that else that will. So that's why the managers there actually appreciate it when you do come in and may do some of these things for you. I know I brought up Radcon before. I'd like to get him on as a guest. But he goes in and does the same thing. He talks to the people that work there, and they are more than happy to match other places and stuff like that, even though they have that whole non-matching thing. If you come in and you explain to them, like, hey, I'm going to clean your shelves off and allow you to put the stuff that's in the back room that you need to get out on Wednesday in, they're very thankful.
Yeah. Well, you got a couple of comments in the comments.
Yeah, so we got up on top here, first comment we got was, first week on BrickOwl, how was it, and what are you using to sync? First week was pretty good. It in comparison to BrickLink pre-upgrade, definitely not as much traffic because it's a not as popular site, but I was pretty pleased. I had a huge percentage more zero feedback buyers than I ever have on BrickLink. But that also could be due to the number of people that are either migrating or just discovering BrickOwl for the first time. So either way, that's fine. Zero problems with any of them in relation to the transaction. As far as I know, everything's still in a shipped state. the interface is not too bad to work with. Everything's basically 1 to 2 clicks away, and there hasn't really been anything that I haven't been able to find yet, or haven't been able to reach out to someone and have them tell me exactly where it is, whether it be Brick Stackers right here, or the actual developer on the portal, which is amazing that I've able to talk to the person who's right there at the keyboard who can make changes. So that's pretty cool. So I'm happy with it, and I'll keep you guys updated as we go along. I know that might be a point of interest, a POI for folks. So I'll try to keep that and make sure you keep asking me. Let's see. Oh, and I use BrickSync to sync. And so if you have BrickSync questions, you can go to me. And if you have, what do you use?
I use brickpacker.com.
BrickPacker. So if you got Packer questions, you go to Doc. That's why we got like the experts, or he's an expert. I'm not. But I'm going to quickly go down to, we had another question from, it might have been Luke's. So what command do I use to update BrickSync's local inventory after I part out a set on BrickLink? So that's the important part, is you are using BrickStock to part out the set, upload it to BrickLink. You don't have to use BrickStock, but it's just the easiest way, and if you're not, you're creating more work for yourself. Just learn to use it, spend that hour to save so much time in the future. But upload it from BrickStock to BrickLink, get everything all hunky-dory and good and exactly the way you want it, and then you just go over to BrickSync, and you can type in the word help, and that's a good one too, but it's BL master on, and then you let it do its little blah blah blah, and then you do BL master space off. And you can also do help BL master, and it'll give a full explanation of what's going on with that command, as it can with any other command. Luke's Bricks. All right, this is one for everybody. Do you ship international? If so, where to? Any tips on saving on costs with shipping internationally? So, Doc, you want to lead this one?
Sure. I mean, yeah, I ship internationally. I do not ship to 2 countries right now on BrickLink. I ship to fewer on BrickOwl. But I'm trying to think of the 2 countries. Thailand is one of them. And I'll tell you real quick in just a second what my other one is. But I pretty much haven't had any. The only reason I don't do those 2 is I've had issues in those 2 countries. Let me go in here real quick.
It's a fraud factor thing.
Yeah, it's a fraud. I've had some people trying to take advantage of me there. I just had issues with those 2 countries. I took them off my shipping. I think what I did, I might have kept them on. I have to look at the way I set up my international shipping. Thailand and Indonesia, those are the 2, because no shipping insurance will cover those 2 countries. They have a high rate of scamming people, and it's not necessarily the people, it's the postal service or lack thereof. You just Google postal service in Thailand or Indonesia, you'll see all these horrible ratings and rankings. They don't have a formal, organized postal service that really works well, and so it's very unreliable. So I ship everywhere else. And of course, it has hurt a little bit with bigger orders going out of the country when USPS raised the rates, but I haven't had any issues really anywhere else. As far as I've had one going to Australia to one of our fellow Instagram and YouTube buddies, and just because he was a friend, I did a full refund. I take care of my customers. It just got lost. It showed it made it to Miami, which would be where it would left the port for me here going to Australia. Miami or California, I think it's Miami. Anyway, when it showed, and it arrived at that facility, and then it never scanned again. And we gave it about 3 months, and I just fully refunded him, and he was awesome. But other than that, I've had pretty good luck.
Second part of the question, any tips on saving on costs with shipping internationally? And we'll get to that one after we go through everybody. But what about you, Brick Willet? Do you ship outside the USA?
Yeah, I ship anywhere they want me to. I've had very good luck. I haven't had no trouble with nobody or going into any countries. Since I've been doing this, I've had 2 orders that have got lost in the mail.
Were they big ones or?
No, just right around $10, $15 orders. So
that's good. That's good. What about you, Bot?
No, I do not ship international at this time, and I've not lost any orders. So.
Now, why is that? Because I'd like to hear the counter reason as well. Because there's good reasonings for everyone. I mean, it's your store, it's your decisions.
Yeah, just so many different opportunities to scam, really, and I just don't want to open myself up for that, you know.
And that's one of the reasons why Doc is pretty much the expert on international, because he has been so cautious of going into those waters, you know. He also
does third-party insurance, right?
What's
yeah,
that?
and I do use a third-party insurer, and those there's 2 of them, and I'll go ahead and show you your tip of the day. InsurePost.com and u-pic.com. u-pic.com. I like UPIC a little better because they cover more countries and they'll cover you on first-class international non-track. A lot of our countries on USPS's website are not traceable at every stop. And for InsurePost, you have to ship to only the USPS countries that are scanned at every stop, and that's like a list of 30 to 45 countries maybe. So UPIC gets a lot of my other shipments to countries that, like Japan and other countries that aren't scanned at every stop. I haven't had a claim yet. I've read, you know, after 2 claims, they'll cut you off and close your account down. But I pay as I go. There's not a fee. You pay with PayPal on InsurePost or a credit card on UPIC. But it's, you know, it's pretty legit. I haven't had any issues yet, thank goodness. Knock on wood. But so yeah, and like I said, it's anything over $100. It's if it's going to a country that's, you know, priority mail shipping is $60 compared to 15 on first class. I'll actually, you know, if they want first class, they requested first class. I give them first class, but then I also bill the insurance onto them. And I haven't had anybody really buck that yet. You know, insurance is going to be about $1.85 per $100. Yeah. So, you know, $365, $370 is what you're going to be looking at for a $100 to $199 order. And you
can fill that into your terms over on BrickLink, right?
Yeah, I've got that on my terms. Yep.
But that's why you also have the limitation over on BrickOwl, because it doesn't, since it has the auto checkout. If you do have shipping set up to go to that country and a checkout set up for that country, it will rush it right through unless you have items specifically checked off in your inventory to force an invoice, is it?
Yeah, you can request a quote, force an invoice, that type of deal. I know you can force a quote, and you know, there's also I don't have as many countries set up on BrickOwl for that reason. There's so many variables that play into that over there.
I just did that. I did that for my sets and my base plates.
Yeah. Iran, South Korea, North Korea.
Some of the ship hulls.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as we're not shooting bullets at somebody, I'll ship to them.
Yeah.
So that is the American way, right?
True.
Learned from our forefathers, we did start commerce with Japan and Germany immediately following World War II.
Howie, you hadn't taken advantage of the international program that eBay offers where you ship it to Kentucky and it goes to their distribution center?
Now, Staggers, do you just print out a label that goes to Kentucky and they reprint from that point on?
Yeah, you ship it to their distribution center. And their system, they already know when they get that order with a reference number or scan it, whatever they do. If they just print another label because it's already in their system, they ship it for you. Now there's a fee to the buyer. It's not to you. The fee comes. They charge out the butt on shipping stuff international, and a lot of people end up canceling their orders. A lot of people, but most of the people that are selling stuff international like that are larger item, a couple $100, jewelry, stuff like that. But see, eBay will collect the fees and stuff up front on, tariffs and incoming import taxes and all that stuff. So sometimes it can be very expensive. And they cover it too in transit. So if it breaks or gets destroyed, eBay covers the expense, from what I understand. I could be wrong, but I think.
I did send a link to Howie so he could come on to discuss that, since he is one of our local community experts on the sales. Let's see if we get any more questions here. Now this one is, we'll do part 2 of this question. Any tips on saving on costs with shipping internationally? And we covered this, I think, in like the 3rd show it might be, maybe the 4th. But there are stipulations as to how to ship an envelope internationally. It is still allowed. It is still a lot less expensive for your international customers to do that. And it isn't like an automatic $13 shipping for 1 ounce. So as long as you can package it properly with the correct packaging, you can still ship pretty cheap to most countries, including Canada. Like, I ship cheaper to Canada than I do to the U.S.
Yeah, I love reading the BrickLinker forums when people put a minifig or something like that in a regular envelope and ship it.
Oh, not a regular envelope. Heck no. Like, it's padded, but it fits the stipulation of. I mean, it doesn't have to be a non-padded envelope. That's just to run letter rate. This is running envelope rate, which it means a padded envelope. So yeah, no, never. To friends, yeah. Bonesy did that once to me, and like, it happens. But like, as a seller, that's why you always do a padded.
Right.
Yeah, shipping really to the international crowd is not as expensive as it was made out to be when USPS changed their shipping. Like, people kind of went a little crazy with the whole, holy poop, it's so expensive now. And it's not. It changed like 10% or something like that. So it's still.
Well, I mean, it did go a huge dramatic. Well, my orders international aren't one order. One brick. My smaller orders typically aren't international. When people pay international, it's usually a lot of bricks, and they're typically for me. So the flat, trying to pack it to where it can go out at the large envelope rate, I can't get it done.
Right. Because, I mean, when you've got clunkier items, it's more difficult unless you are willing to stick them together. And in most cases, people don't want that, and it's a complete devaluement of time if you actually sit there and, like, put everything together so they're not clutched but still together. So that I bought from a couple of people that package that way, and it's really nice and pretty when you receive it. But I don't know what they were smoking when they were putting it together, because they must have been when they were just sitting there for like 3 hours to process one order. No insult intended. But.
No, well, I'm just wondering. I had one last week. They ordered just minifigs. I can't remember which country it was going to, France or Germany. I can't remember. Anyway, I did end up shipping it in large envelope. After the fact, I always build them out as if it won't fit large envelope, but I was able to get it pretty level by the way I packed it, and I refunded them the difference, and I haven't heard anything yet. So, but I just I'm leery of that, because here I've had the post office, at least twice return packages to me.
Right, we've talked about that too. With the more rural of an area you are in, easily equates to greater scrutiny placed upon your package.
Yeah.
When I ship stuff, I ship stuff from home, so I'm in a metropolitan area. But if I have to ship anything at like the last minute that I'm taking with me to work, I'm shipping from a very rural area, and the postmaster just takes a lot greater interest in it, because they get a lot less international mail going through. So it's just maybe it's just I'm just assuming it's them being more mail geeks, you know, that not any more real scrutiny was the wrong word, but like, you know, they're just being more mail geeks.
True.
Well, you got any advice, Willett, since you ship internationally? On money saving, ways to save cash, Ola?
Just always know what your packages are, the weight. You know, like going to Canada, you can ship, say if it's a pound or 2 pounds, you can divide that up between 2 orders. You save yourself probably $5-6 to your customer that money, and you just ship it in 2 packages rather than 1.
Also know if you're shipping to a friend, you should find out what their local country taxes are as far as each shipment. I know that when we had Sar on here last week, he was saying anything over like $13 was like an extra $20 being added to it. So if you know that, you can divide up a $15 order for a 10 and a 5 and send it to them separately, and they actually save themselves the $20 that it would cost in the taxes. And I don't know the legality of that, so if that's not legal, let me know. Let us all know in the comments so we don't do that. Not that we do. Top Box has another question. Do you think having the word brick or something similar would bring out more potential customers? I think that would only relate to the YouTube community and not at all to selling anywhere like BrickLink or BrickOwl. I don't know that people even look at store names on eBay or Amazon. So only if you were a YouTuber and somebody that was going to be become a part of the community as like a vocal member, that like, you know, you were on stuff like this. Thoughts? Brick or treat?
With shipping?
No, on including brick in your name. Since you don't ship out of country, it didn't go to you for a response.
Oh, I just try to come up with something catchy, you know, that wasn't used, and I just thought it was different, you know, especially since I designed my sig fig first, because it's based on what I do for work, and it was orange and, you know, pumpkin and brick or treat, and at least I didn't put pumpkin in my name, so I got that going for me.
Let's see. Hoosier Bricks has issues finding stuff at Walmart. Is that that you don't ever find anything on sale, or they don't put anything on sale?
You know, my local Walmart has nothing. It doesn't even have any of the sets that they would normally put on sale. It's like probably like Doc's normal one. It's like not even half an aisle.
Yeah, that's what mine is.
You know,
I reminded myself of a couple beauties in my area that I had forgotten about. I don't really do the going to stores things much. I primarily go and shop on Amazon. So we can get into the next question on that one, which is from Suffix. Hey, Big B, you're the Grinch. You know why you took all the Star Wars calendar sets, and I did that because it was like 4 months after the season, and they were discontinued and no longer for sale, and nobody else wanted them for a long time, and the price just kept dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping, and Doc happened to know that I was watching them, and he just said, hey, you should watch these closely, and then I started watching them a lot more closely, and then a week later they dropped down to like, I don't remember what it was, but it was super cheap, and I got 84 of them individually, so buy one, buy one, buy one, buy one, 84 times, in order to get the one free Amazon download credit along with it for taking my time shipping, which means that I scored a crazy amount of free DVD or through Amazon Prime movies for my kids and my wife, So thank you very much for the congratulations of my Grinchdom on that. I wear that crown well for every single year for the Advent set. So if you liked that video, look forward to next year's as I try to get even more of those Advent calendars, because for me, they're a benefit as well, because I'm incredibly cheap when it comes to logistics of the company, and I want to get the best that I can for the least amount of money. So you can even see those, this wasn't even planned, look how awesome that is, some of those Amazon trays right up there. So each one of those is inside there. So Amazon sets like triple packaged, so they definitely can be dropped from a high height and have nothing wrong with them whatsoever.
Now, when you ordered 88 of those separately, did they package 88 of them? And 88
no, they go and they consolidate them on their own, and they totally don't waste anything. They've got a computer that's doing all that happy crap.
They consolidated. I ordered the Lego train station the other day that was on sale, and they threw it in the same box as my 33-pound dog food bag that I ordered, and so you can imagine what that looked like when I got that. So yeah, they're good at consolidating orders.
Yeah, how many? I meant to ask, how many of these zombie skateboarder books did you end up getting at the same time? Right? Wasn't that?
So those were direct communication. They were purchased through Amazon, but they were direct communication with the reseller for the shipping on that, because those ones came free.
Nice.
So I thank you, Suffix. I look forward to your next response the next time on my Grinchdom. But I wear that one with pride, brother. I wear that one with pride.
I look forward to the video.
That's a killer one every year for me, dude. And I don't buy them in season, and I don't buy them out. They're still available, as you commented on my video previously. That there's still some available that you didn't grab. That's on purpose, dude. All right. It's all an act. The evil Big B is an act. All right. What was that, bot?
Oh, nothing.
I know you guys like the evil Big B videos, but Suffix has commented before, and it's obviously not a child, but a younger, possibly prepubescent adult. So.
Well, that's what gets me. They, like they say, oh, you're taking it out of children's hands. Well, I'm sorry, it's been there a year past, and nobody's bought it. So you're yelling at us for buying inventory so they can turn it over and buy new inventory?
Yeah, when the people who run the department look forward to you showing up in their store because you're doing them a huge favor, and other people who actually work in the industry have talked about that before too, like how helpful it is to just be able to reset the aisles the way that the company really wants them to, and the manufacturer of the toy. So they actually get, these whole things, and this is how it has to look.
Yeah, that's why Walmart ends up, it's a deleted item, but it's not clearance, so they have to just put a regular, look like a clearance sticker, but it's regular price, and they'll stick it over in the clearance section. Because there's no place to put it in the planogram,
I also found out about some of those little things, like on the label, you got to look for the 2 red stripes on either side. That means that they're going to clearance it soon. That means you may be able to approach them for a wheel and deal.
Yeah, I did leave all the...
It might work, it might not work, but it's just one of those, share the knowledge with cool cats.
Yeah, I left all the $5 Nexo Knights on the shelf this weekend.
False.
You're waiting for them to go down to $2.50 like rad.
Yep.
And you guys will have that opportunity too. That's the sad point. Like $5 is the bottom that it will go in my area.
Well, I picked a bunch of these up for like $3.50. I couldn't pass that up.
I actually passed on those at $2.50.
Yeah, I could have, but so sometimes I have to buy. I don't want to go into a store and walk out when there's stuff in there.
And that's how I ended up getting 24 of those Nexo Knight poly bags this week. I went into a Target, only found one of the Bionicles that I was after, and was just like, we drove all this way to come here, and nothing had been marked down because it was a more affluent store. So, they didn't even start the 30% yet. So,
Yeah.
went to the register, and all the Targets near me do not have polys. So, I took advantage of it after I checked what the possible resale and part-out value was.
Well, it's nice you have Target. I have Targetto, so.
Targetto.
In the Targetto.
Yes, Targetto.
All right, so Slungshot326 says, "Hey Big B, do you think the Olympic Lego set will be worth more, or will be worth the purchase since they aren't available in the U.S.?" And the answer to that is, of course, always yes. But were you guys even aware that Lego was making another Olympic set?
No.
Doc, will it?
I haven't seen any pictures or anything coming up on it yet, but heard a little bit of rumors.
Somebody actually Googling that stuff?
Is it on the Brick Fan?
I don't know, man. That's why I'm trying to do the crowd control here. Like, I need somebody on technical logistics.
Hey, you're Alexander Haig, dude. Come on.
All right. We answered Zanies, you ship to Iran, and the answer being, I think, from anyone, if they ain't shooting at us, then we're selling to them. Okay. Not sure if Howie's leery of selling on eBay or coming on the show.
Yeah. I wonder if you could ship to the space station or something.
And yeah, Bones, yeah, actually it is cheaper to ship to Mexico. Mexico's #2 on the list for cheapest to ship to, and it actually runs pretty much neck and neck with U.S., if not cheaper.
I've never shipped to Mexico, I don't think.
Yeah, I wonder if it's insured, if it's guaranteed to get there.
Oh, he's apologizing for the letter rate. No, that was no problem, man. Like, but that was a great example to everyone out there why you shouldn't. You know.
Because it goes through a machine.
That's a lot of typos down there. All right. I'm wondering how Bones has done on his mission that I sent him on when he was down there. What's the typical dollar amount to get free shipping from Germany on average? You know, since it's the seller stream. And definitely more than $100. I've been offered it with 500 or more, sometimes 1,000. That also goes with repeat buyermanship. More questions, folks.
All right, I've got one for Josh is asking, and I believe I'm going to answer it for you, and you correct me if I'm wrong. Josh is asking how'd you override the limit from Amazon on buying all the calendars? And he was buying them for third-party sellers. There's no limit when you have third-party sellers on how many you can order, same as he did with those books, ordering with the little soldier, minifig soldiers out of the skateboard zombie guy. When you order from a third party, and if you notice all the people going around buying stuff from Amazon that's fulfilled by Amazon, you know, there's vendor fulfilled and Amazon fulfilled, and I'm assuming that's what Big B did, is he ordered from the individual sellers and not.
Oh yeah, I wasn't trying to skirt anything by doing the onesie. I was just trying to get the free $1 free download credit for the free stuff on Amazon Prime for free videos for my kids and wife. That's the only reason why I do it the onesie. I could have just punched in 84 and it would have just gone and consolidated all from the different buyers and done it in one order and it would have just gone through. There was no limit when I was doing it because nobody was buying any of these or wanted them and they were out of season. When Advent Scents go out of season, the Friends one, the City one, they go crazy cheap. I've done the City ones and the Friends ones in the past and been very, very successful with them. I just was limiting myself this year to one of the three because I really wanted to go big on it. Because next year my kids are going to be able to start, or my son's going to be able to see episode 4 for the first time, and there was an opportunity to have Jawas in there. And I've got a UCS Sandcrawler that's sitting over here on the side that's personal that I'm waiting to put together after he sees it. So that was another reason, and go along with the personal policy of if we're not using it, we're selling it. So
now, Minifig Collector is saying the Olympic set number and Slungshot is saying the same thing. I'm sorry, Slungshot said the inventory number is 40225. That's the mascot. I don't see Olympic minifigures. I see the Olympic mascot set for Rio's events, but it's a very odd looking set, to be honest with you. But
all the Olympic mascots are kind of odd looking, aren't they?
Yeah.
Are they sure this isn't from? Wow, this looks like Japanimation.
Yeah, it does. It looks like Teletubbies met up with Mixels and did something else to them. It's freaky.
Yeah. I think anything that Olympic-based is going to have a resale value to it, without a doubt. Without a doubt, Unless it's like Chima.
Sure, exactly.
Yeah, or something, just to use Chima as an example, because it isn't widely accepted in the LEGO community.
One of the Walmarts I got in my area still have Chima up on their shelves. And they won't mark it on for clearance either.
Don't let Doc know where those are.
Shoot. I might drive all the way up there. I can also say I don't think my Walmart here has Chima anymore, and I didn't buy it, so I don't know who idiot did. But the one I was telling you about, 30 miles from here, it's still got plenty, and they mark them down like 10%. That's the biggest markdown they have on them. So those big Phoenix, big red ones with the orange eagles and all them, whatever they are, when that one went on super clearance everywhere, they marked it down 10%, and it's been sitting on the shelf since.
My Toys R Us has Chima.
Toys R Us will have it for another 2 years.
Yeah. I was in a Toys R Us today, no lie, and they had retired sets. They had the Joker Steamroller back.
I saw
Dark
that.
Sea, yeah, it's Dark Sea, Gorilla Grodd. I mean, it's crazy the stuff that they got up there. No, I mean, it's retired sets. You got clearance from other stores years ago.
Yeah.
$51.99 for Joker Steamroller.
Yep. I still got about 15 of them to part out over here.
Yeah, I got 15 behind me myself. Looking forward to this.
Who's your bricks ass? If the base plates behind me are listed, and yes, on both stores. But back to what Bones was saying earlier on, they're talking about the new CMF scam. I don't know. Is there some scam going on with CMFs?
I haven't heard nothing myself.
Somebody's got a field game. I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, me neither.
Not that I'm aware of. Hoosier picked up a couple Friends hotels for $12. It's a good deal. People are buying whole cases for sig fig price. Yeah, that happens every time that they change the DPCI, I think.
No, well, no. What happens, it sounds like, is they get up to the cash register and she scans the box, and then just is one at $3.99 or $3.97, and instead of $60 at $3.97.
Right. Yeah, they're not the person at the cash register isn't reading, but there's supposed to be different scan bars on them. They could. It could be the store not doing that the right way, is what I mean. Not anything nefarious. People just taking advantage after they find out about it. Which is what pretty much everybody did with the UCS TIE Fighter this week.
TIE Fighter's $35.
The UCS one?
Oh, no, the regular. My bad. The regular one is $35 at Walmart. I didn't get any of them because it's a bunch of huge Star Wars plates I didn't want to have to fool with right now. But
what's the part out on that, Doc?
I mean, you'll get your money out of it, at least 2.5 probably. But you got your TIE Fighters, which are in from what I understand, they're in a couple different sets. so it's not exclusive pilots. But it's just huge, angular, wedges and plates that I just don't need right now.
I'm surprised you left them.
Well, I was getting the X-Wing. I'd rather have those parts than I would. The figs were better in the X-Wing set than they were in the TIE Fighter, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, it's still not a bad price. Don't get me wrong, but you got to remember, I had to budget somewhere. I could have come home with a lot more if I had a lot more money, and that was just one of the things I said. I'll wait and see where it goes. I'm sure it'll disappear quick because that's a good set for $35.
Now, what did you leave behind that you wish you would have bought now? Every time I leave something, I say, damn, I should have bought that.
Well, my Walmart here still has about 3 of the police stations at 54.
Yeah.
And they might be gone. We do have some wealthy folks in town that buy a lot of Lego. But I'd say that. That, and then the other one that I saw somebody pick up also for $30, it's the Jabu, what was that? It's got the teal green looking blue Star Wars set. It's got the teal green looking mech on it.
I saw that on Instagram.
Yeah, so I bought it for $30, and I did find about 4 or 5 of those at $30 each at the last Walmart I went to. Mm-hmm. But that's basically it. I mean, I got everything that I really wanted.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I should have bought the Desert Outpost and the winter one.
Yeah, I didn't see the Desert Outpost on sale. Mine just had the winter one.
Yeah, the winter one was what, 20, and the Desert Outpost is 30. So.
Yeah. They weren't marked down at my stores. And they might not have them in stock. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember seeing them at all. But
yeah, the Desert Outpost has 25 of the brick by itself, 25 pieces of them, so that's not bad.
Oh, they're great. I mean, you're not getting back on figs, but they're great for little brick boxes. I mean, it's just basic building plates or the bigger plates, and then the bricks. I mean,
yeah, I'm gonna, because I probably saw about 10 police stations with all the Walmarts I hit yesterday, and I didn't buy a single one, and because I'm thinking, what's in that? But you look, it's got a lot of windows and all that in it, so.
Yeah.
Got a lot of white, got a lot of windows. That means that it's pretty much universal.
Right.
As long as you get it in there before Christmas, rush, you're doing good. I mean, people buy that white brick.
White goes crazy during the holidays.
Yep. I'm looking at Hoosier Bricks comments. He's asking, do we ever look at the price, the dates when they do the markdowns? I do typically if I think usually mine go in stages. In my area, not all stores hit them at the same time, and none of the stores really hit them at the same time as far as marking them down. But if I go to a strange Walmart or one I haven't been in a while, I'll look and see the last time they marked down to kind of get an idea of when I need to come back by and check and see when they're going to be marking down again. But it does tell you on the sticker the time or the date that they do the markdown. But it's just hadn't been enough really markdowns in my areas to even really worry about looking at dates.
So the reason why they're discussing when something was marked down is because if you know that it was marked down like 2 weeks ago, does not talk about it?
No, I'm just messing with you.
Okay. To know if you have any negotiating room when you're approaching them for the whole hey, this is this here, can you do this here as well? If it was marked down that morning, they're not going to change it. Even if it was for a few days, a week, they probably going to say no. But where Doc's going and where Bot goes, they have that opportunity, so they get to look at that stuff. In my area, you have to hit the day that it marks down is the only time you're ever going to see it on the shelves, because outside of 2 or 3 Wally Worlds, they just fly off the shelves.
Yeah.
But I also live in I live in the tech sector of the U.S., so there's a lot more Lego being sold in this area. We have 3 Lego stores in my area. Bot's getting ready to get 8, right? So your 8th one opening up?
Yep.
That's one of the reasons why he does a lot of stuff for sales from Pick-a-Brick, because he has so many Lego stores to choose from.
Yeah. Technically, I can get to 5 of them in 45 minutes. So.
Yeah.
Well, you made me sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I remember that.
You don't make me sick. You don't make me sick. You help me out. You don't make me sick.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie. I wish I did have one close by.
You'd be broke.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would be.
I just wish I had a Walmart closer. I got to drive 30 miles one way to get to the store.
I thought I had it bad. Good Lord.
You know, I noticed the Toys R Us, they raised the price on that City Park set again.
On which set?
The City Park with all the minifigs in it.
What price is it there now? It's not $39 anymore?
No, it went to 42 and now it's 44.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. I'll stay away from that one. I know it's got some good parts, but it's just...
So Luke asked a question, does anyone think that the new Disney castle will be an opportunity for a quick flip at Christmas for a decent profit? And that all depends upon how many the big boys get. So for those of you guys...
While we're on that subject, did somebody get one?
There's a non-talk about thing. There's some very, very large companies out there, multi-million-dollar companies that deal in toys and online sale of toys. And we have a few friends that actually work with them. And these guys just go, and the first day that there's a set that comes out that they know that they're going to be able to do a quick flip on during Christmas, they go out and they just grab it. And they grab it from everywhere. And they've got just their wonderful seller tentacles everywhere. So you're probably not going to be able to get as many as you thought you could right in the beginning. But any set like that is going to be a good flip during the holidays.
Yeah, I like Clutch's old business model. He walks around the store with it in his cart, putting it on eBay, and it should sell.
No, he doesn't do that. He just identifies people that are.
Yeah. I know we went, James and I took him to my TRU today. He bought a couple sets, but I pulled out a fresh case of 16 from there that they were holding, and we went through it for him, and he's feeling all this stuff, and he put it on eBay before he even got home and was selling it.
Awesome. Nice. So Hoosier Brick says he found his wife found a Chima set marked down half price 2 years ago. So that's the time that you go find somebody. You get to the store early enough in the morning that you're going to be able to talk to the person who runs the department, and you just bring it to them. And I got $2. $2. You joke with them. You joke around. You say if they seem cordial to your joking, and they make an agreement with you, that's when you go and you put the rest of the stuff on clearance into your cart, and you're like, all right, how much for all this?
Yeah, I did that last year at my Walmart. I took four buggies, as Stackers calls them. You remember that video I made?
Yep. But you got to live in an area. You got to live in an area that actually has a real clearance section, who is willing to, put their clearance out there. A lot of Walmarts and a lot of Targets nowadays just store all their stuff in trailers, and don't put anything out ever.
Yeah. And also, the thing is, if you have a local lug too, you have to fight for stuff because people will clear out stores.
Yeah, and I've got like 8 lugs in my area that are all like Lego recognized.
Right.
And the trailers can be a good thing. Where I made the best purchases are poorly run Walmarts that simply took stuff off the shelf that didn't sell or they had overstock of it, and they set them in a trailer, shut the doors, and then somebody came in to move stuff, clean stuff, and then you find cases of old sets. They come back out and they put them on sale at the last clearance price. And that is a good thing because, most of the time, by that time, the sets have appreciated so much. I've had good luck with that. But that was before I moved here.
That's how you found the Series 9 minifigures, probably, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Target's bad about, well, not bad, I ain't gonna say it's bad, but Targets will bring out a Series 2 later, and restock a shelf with them.
Oh, I know. My Target close to me still has Disney. They haven't even stuck 16 out yet, and it'll be probably 6 months before they figure out, oh, this is different, even though it's got the same DPCI. They're not smart enough to, open the box and look at it.
Yeah.
I had that problem with actually 2 Targets that I went to this week, just asking them about if they had Series 16N and everything else, and they went in the back. They're like, "Oh, look, we got cases and cases of Disney that we didn't know we could put out because we still have, you know,
Series 15 on the shelf."
Series 15 on the shelf," and like,
Yep. Yeah, mine were getting the big hangers too. And
"You're
then
going to get those again on September 1st, shipped to you."
Yep.
What do you mean? They're coming back out.
Yeah, my Walmart just stuck out fresh cases of Disney. It's crazy. I just wonder if there's ever going to be a shortage of anything anymore with Lego when it comes to like minifigures or anything like that.
Yeah. And
well, we'll talk about that later.
our tour world had the question of how do you find deals in your local TRUs, Targets, Walmarts, etc. I live in a rich area, although I'm not rich. Nothing ever goes on sale when I go. Frowny face. Can you give me some advice? Thanks, guys. And actually, one of our friends of the show, Bones Bricks, who is also an avid seller online, says our tour world, you go 20 miles outside of the city and you find deals. And that's very true. You go where people aren't. You go where there's you go where the money isn't. And usually the money is centered around the highest populous business area, and then if you go out from there, you get stuff.
Some of the best deals I've gotten are in some of the worst, most dangerous-looking Walmarts you could go into.
Now we need to preface this by our tour world is only 14.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know that for one of our panelists, his response is, you get yourself GAC.
Hey, I have a carry permit.
GAC, and then you go adventuring.
Yes, I have a carry permit, so that helps.
Yeah. You're also a veteran and a sure shot, so.
Right.
For those people that are worried, because people should be worried about, weapon safety. And
if you gotta drive some distance, look for your Legos or your sales. You should be up online, look up your local store, and see if they have what you want in stock before you make that trip. So
and that can't be wrong. I mean, yesterday I made a 30-mile drive one way. Got there thinking I could load up on a set that they showed. You can get on there and test out, and pick up the same day online, and everything goes through, it goes good. You get there and they have none of it, and it's either in the back somewhere and they're not going to go look for it, or they sold it all the last couple of days and then hadn't updated the website, or somebody stole them. But yeah, I mean, that's a good idea, but in my area generally, it's just been so hit and miss.
Yeah, I wish they really had, through all these apps that they have to find all the stuff in their stores, I really wish you just had the ability to be like, have one person behind the service desk to responding to these things. More during the holidays, of course, but the whole buy now for at store price, pick up at store at this time, and just be able to go on there and be like, boom, 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 buy all of it, and here's my info. I'll be by with the pickup truck and load it up later. Because
Toys R Us does offer that.
Probably half the stores I went to this week, and I mean, I hit that one day 11 stores in one day. And probably got about 150 to 175 sets. But, it would have been nice to know that a few of these stores were empty, because I went out during lunch and took lunch on the road and struck out at all 3 places.
Oh, so you got to go in. You got to go in.
150 sets. You have a covered pickup truck or a van or what?
Just a regular pickup truck with the spider webbing over the top, and I usually fill up the cab in the back seat, and if it's a brick box, it goes in the bed.
Yeah, I'd be afraid to leave stuff in the back while I'm going into another store,
No, when I do the Black Friday, I'll take the truck and I fill up the whole bed with brick boxes, and then I go home, and usually my wife and the father-in-law are already there. And I just take the truck and I throw it to my father-in-law, and he catches it and hands it to my wife, and she pops it inside, and the 2 kids are grabbing boxes and running them back the back door inside the house. And this synchronized movement thing to unload the truck as quick as possible for Daddy so we can go back out and hit the other hit the other Wally World that doesn't sell anything. And I'm sure it's very comical, because both of them are rolling their eyes at me the entire time.
You need to put on a GoPro this year.
No way, man, no way. I caught so much hell just from the one buggy picture that I posted on Instagram. There's people that permanently hate me now because of that, because they think that's like the everyday thing. Like, they don't get the whole, like, the store is happy to see me because it just sits on their shelves. You know, even after the holidays, it's still on their shelves.
And the manager's saying, I don't know why they ship us this much. We don't sell that much.
I have asked her that too, and she's just like, we have no control over it. She's just, you know, as I was leaving, she would like was marking all this stuff and just like going through her whole thing to find out. Oh, I've got to do a deep discount on this one. Are you interested in this one? You know. But for those of you who have, here's a little trick that was not publicized, I think, on anybody else. But if you have Fred Meyer's in your area, Fred Meyer's is doing a 30% discount on select Lego sets that are traditionally poor sellers or old. But this includes some of the Disney princess lines, the first series of the Disney princess. So those historically have gone up in value quite a bit quickly. Best one being Brave. Merida is more than doubled for that little tiny set. It's like a $25 set now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sold 7 complete. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. But those were on there. But outside of that, they also had the additional, depending upon the location of your Fred Meyer's, 50 or 60% off all clearance items. So it was getting basically sets for about 67+% off. So I picked up 30% and then another 60%. Not cumulative, so 30% off, then 60% off. I picked up about a dozen of the Friends airport set, the smaller one, the it's okay for strangers to touch you set. So I'm going to be stuck with those. I was actually talking to DC about that, because I always try to make sure I let all the local cool cats in my area know about our local sales as well. And I let DC know about that, and he thought I was talking about the Mondo plane with the purple wings, and I was talking about the smaller one with the medium azure. And he actually went out and took another look at it, because he was getting it for 11 at his area, so he had the 50% off, and I was picking it up for 9.
Oh man!
Not a bad deal, because you get aircraft windows and aircraft glass. It's all white for the most part, and light gray with a couple pastels thrown in there. But I mean, my thing is parting out friend sets. I'd part out a lot of friend sets, but we also have a tendency to, part out what we're playing with. And then, of course, the elves. People picked up the elves tree hut forest thing that was at Walmart. For the most part, my Star Wars and superheroes were stripped clear, and I had my best luck with friends and elves.
Well, I got the 2 Pegasus elves sets for $9 each.
Those are great sets.
Yeah, I wish I found more of those. But the other stores I went into they didn't have them on sale, and then I don't think they had them on sale. One of them, the other didn't have any in stock, and they weren't marked down to 9 there either, or at least the shelf tag didn't say they were. So I don't know. I do wish I got more of those. When you sell the 2 horses that up, you pretty much got your money back. So, or dragons, whatever they are now. Horses, yeah, horses.
Yeah, they weren't even on sale at the Walmarts I went to.
So Doc and I wanted to try something out. We're always trying to, of course, get sales for each other and everybody on the show, try to help the community out. But I wanted to try out the couponing system over at BrickOwl. There's a special thing that they use for the flash sales that we tend to do on YouTube and Instagram a lot more than what other sellers do. And it's really cool that they have this feature. Doc, you want to talk about it a little bit, since this is going to be a new venture for you too?
Well, I mean, this. I usually offer a coupon to anybody that buys from my store. I do it like you. It's progressive. The more times you buy, it goes up every 1% every time you buy. But I've never done a coupon code. Really, I've done the Chima hashtag and stuff like that when we were playing around on some of the other streams and stuff.
But this is one that actually reflects in the checkout and everything else for people, and it's an immediate deduction on the price.
Automatic checkout on BrickOwl. We're able to create a coupon code, and in checkout you have an opportunity to redeem that by typing in a code like you would on any site nowadays. And so Big B's put it over in the chat. If you look, it's called Seller Stream. There's no hashtag. Did you put a hashtag on yours?
Yeah, I put a hashtag on mine.
Oh crap, I didn't do that on mine. Let me go fix mine.
But
But
anyway,
anyway,
it's going to happen in both of our stores because we both want to try it out. And this is also supposed to work with existing percentage or dollar amount or free shipping coupons that you can run on BrickOwl as well, right?
I don't know if
The system over at BrickOwl is a lot more verbose than the one on BrickLink for as far as what you can do. So I wanted to play around with some of these new things, since I'm sort of presenting BrickOwl to people for the first time and testing the cold waters and reporting on it. So this is one of the things we wanted to try out, and maybe we'll get a couple sales out of it. What the heck?
Yeah, so 10% off your purchase. There's not an expiration date really on it, other than it's going to be. Did it have an expiration date on there? I didn't even set it.
No, I didn't. I just put it the first 10 uses.
Yeah, that's true. All right, yeah. So the first 10 uses, good. I've never done the code myself either, so.
Yeah, and since Clutch had brought this up in the forum on BrickLink, and it is something that needs to be made over on BrickLink, and I want to have it over there too. But I've always wanted to be able to have multiple coupons for people who are using them. I'm going to actually go over there later on and set up the Patreon one that I have. So make sure that I can use the Ligonius one and use that special thing over there too, because I know that it's offered there as well. Brick or Treat loves Patreon.
Yes, he does.
He's a huge fan of Patreon.
I have to start my Instagram posts again here shortly. I mean, why don't is that just another version of GoFundMe?
I have no idea, man. I'm all for those things.
GoFundMe was made to be a beggar's paradise, and Patreon was made supposedly to actually subscribe to a service. Now, people use Patreon for just about anything. And the GoFundMe was I was making fun of that. There are some legit reasons to use GoFundMe. You know, somebody's sick, somebody's kid's sick, they need money, blah, 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 cancer treatment. Those are legit. I'm not mocking that. There are people out there I've seen that make jokes out of it, though, just to get money. Yeah, like anything else, it's a platform that can be abused and shouldn't be, but it's like begging for free stuff, claiming to be sick, and abusing other things. So.
And then
Hey, that package that I sent you got to wait to open it on the stream next week.
Okay.
All right. Any of you guys want to do anything else to talk about here? We've got an hour and 15 in.
Did we talk about sealed sets?
What'd you say?
Did we talk about any sealed sets to hold on to, or?
We didn't talk about a single set.
We started off well. At least we got to a lot of viewer questions during here. It usually goes off the main topic quite a bit, but I guess it's a good listen to for people who are into Lego investment and sales. We've actually been doing for you guys. I don't know if you guys have noticed, we've done pretty well in the whole number of views thing.
Well, I'd like to ask you, if if you were going to buy a set to put away that's still available right now, what would it be?
That's still available. That's right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since I
don't know.
you can always do. I feel like you can always do your creator modulars.
Yeah, I don't want a modular or train. There's
Those trains. Those two are always winners. But I don't want to
Yeah.
spend $159 on something to sit 4 or 5 years. I think Batman has been the proven winner in the past as far as in Star Wars, of course. Those two themes, they're putting out a lot of Batman compared, though, to when they started, and I just don't know if it's going to be able to hold up.
Yeah, when you opened that Arkham Asylum, I was shocked when you
It was already open. I bought it damaged box. You remember?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the reason I didn't sell it sealed. Is I had a feel I could tell all the bags were there, but I always get nervous buying a set that's open. You'll never see me sell. I have a fear of selling someone a set that's sealed or that was damaged in shipment, and then there's something to be legit. Because I've opened up enough boxes, part and mount, where there's parts missing, where I thought they were sealed, and the seals were still. I get nervous on that stuff, but yeah, no, I think Batman would be a good one, and like I said, I think the Iron Man Hulkbuster is going to be one. I didn't see Ant-Man being, when it first hit the shelves, being what it is now.
Yeah, I wish I wouldn't have parted out my 15 Hulkbusters.
I'm gonna say old-timey Batman set.
Oh, the cave?
The Wayne Manor. That would be my go-to sit-on set outside of the standard answers. But also, like, Wally was gonna do well. Anything Disney or movie related is gonna do well for the most part, except for like the obvious ones like Angry Birds. Like Angry Birds sitting on your shelf is probably not going to do all of that well.
Yeah.
No.
But Toy Story would, because it's an iconic movie. You know, you got to look at the more, and you got to look at the crowd, not the personal, when you're talking about this, because you might love Angry Birds and it might be your favorite game because you've been playing it for 5 years on your phone. But is everyone like that? You know, does it have that sort of effect on everyone where, Woody and Buzz really do? For the most part, like, you put an Angry Bird out there and you put Woody and Buzz and the person's going to go, Woody and Buzz.
Yeah, I sat on those research, the scientists, the ones that got the late scientists.
Research Institute? Yeah.
Yeah, Research Institute. I sat on some of them, and then, of course, sat on some of the Back to the Future ones when they came out, because I felt like that was an iconic one. But I don't know. That's not my expertise. If I had more, money that I didn't tie up in parts, and I had more room, I might play with it a little bit more. But there's only a few, and basically some of the decisions I've made on not parting them out just because I pushed them so far. I bought them 3 years ago. They're still sitting in sets up there, and I'm still buying. I haven't stopped this problem I've got of buying. So some of the stuff I'm ended up just letting stay sealed is because by accident I just hadn't gotten to them. I mean, it wasn't planned.
So how do you decide what set to part up next?
Usually it's like my wife right yesterday said, I can't open the refrigerator. Will you please come move these sets? And that's probably one of the biggest things is whatever's in the way at the time. I've got this system called stacking everything on the floor at the house in the storage room where I put all my stuff, which we've got another outside refrigerator. Get away from me. Well, anyway. And so when Mama comes and says, hey, you went shopping all day yesterday and I can't see the floor in front of the refrigerator. I really need to get to it. Can you please move it? Usually it stays there until I do a haul video. And then I'll either put it in here under the tables or back up there on the shelves. All my shelves are full right now. That's my problem. So, I don't know. There's no legit answer. There's no system to it. If I think that I'm not going to find any more of it, I usually go ahead and part it out. But, like the next things that get my attention are going to be the minifigs. I'll start processing some of the minifigs soon, and as soon as I get inventory on those. But I don't know. It just depends.
Now, Big B, you bought a bunch of the Nexo Knights figure
Yep.
things. Will those be parted out and go right in your store, or will they have your shelf life of 6 to 8 months behind you? Oh, there you go.
2 of them are already in the store. Robin's already been put in there. Macy's already. Half of one of the Lavernicus or whatever, half of Lavernicus is already in the store.
Did you point out the fig or keep it together?
I'm fully parted.
The full Monty, huh?
No, arms are still attached.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I parted out. I know that there's members of the YouTube community that are using Robin's torso. Mini Bricks uses that torso, so other people are looking for that, and I saw that there wasn't many of them out there. I just look at. I tend to look at the parts and pieces a lot closer. So
I will ask everybody that's watching to please give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to Big B, go ahead and subscribe to Big B. Actually, go ahead and subscribe to all of us.
Please do that.
Brick or Treat and the quiet one that's here tonight. He's patiently probably working in the background. Brick Willet. We can't forget about him. So yeah, subscribe to all of us. Brick Willet's got a nice store going on there, and he's been doing a little bit more videos. So we want to give him some support, get him going. And
Hoping Brick or Treat. Are we going to see any camera moving out of you this week?
Not this week. Probably next week.
Next week. Okay, so do we have that in internet writing? Next week we get a Storage Room 1 tour.
No, I mean there's not much to tour really. I mean, not even. It goes all the way down.
Yeah, your screen's frozen for me.
Oh, so can't move this thing. So
you can look at the screen right there and get it.
What I might try to do is sign in on my phone as well and walk around with the phone.
Do that. We're also going to be looking for sellers in our viewership that are interested in coming on and talking, just like we did last week. So if you want to come on and talk about something, please let me know. Shoot me a message, shoot Doc a message, shoot Will a message, shoot Bot a message. Let one of us know. If you have any questions for next week, or if you have a question that went unanswered this week, please feel free to comment on the video after it is aired. And as Doc said, please like, comment, subscribe, all that happy crap. You guys that have followed me for a while know that I never ask anybody really to subscribe or to like it. Seller Stream is something that Doc and I have really wanted to do for a long time, and I'm excited about it. You guys are obviously excited about it, so let's try to make it happen. And since you guys are, those of you that are following me, making the transition from part-time to whatever happens in the future, that will help that along as well. So, don't forget, check us all out on BrickLink. Check out Doc and I on BrickOwl. With almost everybody here, you can also go to their username.com and reach them as well. And most of us the same with our username at gmail.com. So, big thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you. And everybody say bye-bye.
Good night.
Have a good night, guys.
There's the paper boy.